It was a Tuesday, a slow afternoon, the kind where the clatter of dishes feels extra loud and the coffee machine hisses like it's bored. I was wiping down tables, humming a little tune to myself, when the bell above the door chimed. An old man stood there, hunched over, with a couple of really heavy-looking grocery bags pulling his arms down. He looked tired, his face a road map of wrinkles, and his eyes had that distant look some older folks get. My first thought was, oh, he's going to struggle to even get to a table. It wasn't even a thought, really, more of an instinct. I mean, it's just what you do, right? You see someone who needs a hand, you give it. So I walked over, a smile on my face, and said, "Let me help you with those, sir." He looked surprised, a little flicker of something in his eyes. "Oh, no, dear, you don't have to," he mumbled, but his voice was weak. "Nonsense," I said, already reaching for the bags. They were even heavier than they looked. I swear, he must have bought enough groceries for a small army. I guided him to a quiet booth by the window, the one that catches the afternoon sun just right. He settled in, sighing a little, and I placed the bags carefully on the seat beside him. "Can I get you anything? Coffee? A cup of tea?" I asked, pulling out my notepad. "Just a glass of water, please, and a minute to catch my breath," he said, and I noticed his hands trembling slightly as he rested them on the table. I brought him the water, and he sipped it slowly, still looking a bit out of sorts. We didn't talk much while he was there. He ordered a small soup, ate it slowly, and then paid without much fuss. As he was getting up to leave, I saw him glance at the bags again, a worried look on his face. "Are you sure you're all right with those?" I asked, stepping forward. He hesitated, then said, "It's just a bit of a walk, and my back isn't what it used to be." "Don't you worry," I said, already picking up the bags. "I'll walk with you to your car, or wherever you're headed." He tried to protest again, but I just smiled and insisted. I wasn't going to let him struggle. We walked slowly, the bags digging into my hands, but I didn't mind. He lived just a few blocks away, in a small, neat house with a well-tended garden. When we got to his door, he turned to me, and his eyes, which had seemed so distant before, were now sparkling with something I couldn't quite place. Gratitude, maybe, or something deeper. "Thank you truly, my dear," he said, his voice a little stronger now. "You're a kind soul." "Just doing what anyone would do," I replied, feeling a little warmth spread through me. "It's nice to feel like you've made a difference, even a small one." I wished him a good day and headed back to the café, the lingering scent of his groceries, a mix of fresh bread and something herbal, still in the air. The next day, Wednesday, started like any other. I was in early, setting up the tables, getting the coffee brewing. The morning rush was just starting to pick up, a few regulars coming in for their usual. Then the door opened, and not one, not two, but 4 men walked in. They weren't café regulars, that's for sure. They were tall, well-built, dressed in dark suits, and they had that serious, unsmiling look about them. My heart did a little jump. I mean, for guys like that, all at once, it felt ominous. They scanned the room, and for a terrifying second, I thought something bad was about to happen. Then, one of them, the biggest one, spotted me. He walked straight over to my counter, the other 3 fanning out a little behind him, creating a human wall. "Are you my name?" he asked, his voice deep and calm, but with an edge that made me gulp. "Yes," I managed to squeak out, my hand instinctively going to my chest. "We're here on behalf of Mr. Henderson," he said. Mr. Henderson, the old man from yesterday. My mind raced, trying to figure out what in the world was going on. Had I done something wrong? Did he forget something? Was he complaining about my service? My stomach did a flip-flop. He asked us to come and thank you, the bodyguard continued, and then he took a step back, and the other three moved too, revealing a brand-new gleaming coffee machine. Not just any coffee machine, but one of those fancy, professional ones I'd always dreamed of having for the cafe. And beside it, a stack of crisp, white envelopes. I stared, my mouth probably hanging open. What is this? I finally managed to ask, my voice a whisper. Mr. Henderson wanted to express his gratitude, the bodyguard said, a tiny hint of a smile finally gracing his lips. He was very touched by your kindness yesterday. He said you reminded him of his late wife. I felt a rush of emotion, a mix of surprise, disbelief, and something warm spreading through my chest. The envelopes, I later found out, contained enough money to pay off all the cafe's outstanding bills and then some. And the coffee machine. It was the best our little cafe had ever seen. I stood there, speechless, as the four bodyguards politely, almost gently, installed the new machine. They even gave me a quick lesson on how to use it. It was the most surreal morning of my life. The regulars who had watched the whole thing unfold were buzzing with questions, but I could only shake my head, a goofy grin plastered on my face. It's funny, you do a small thing, just a little act of kindness, not expecting anything in return, and sometimes the world just surprises you. That day, I learned that a simple gesture can mean the world to someone, and that sometimes kindness comes back to you in the most unexpected and overwhelming ways. And every time I pull a perfect espresso from that machine, I think of Mr. Henderson and his quiet, profound thank you.